It's happened. The American giant has landed. In the heart of Mumbai, Tesla has officially opened its first showroom and the Model Y is now on Indian soil. This isn't just another car launch, it's a statement. With a starting price tag of Rs 59.89 lakh, Tesla has just fired the starting gun on a race for the future of India's roads. For years, homegrown champions like Tata and Mahindra have been carefully building India's EV dream, piece by piece, charger by charger. They've owned this market, commanding the vast majority of sales and paving the way for an electric future. But the rules of the game have just completely changed. The question is no longer if a high-tech EV invasion is coming, but whether India's domestic titans can actually survive it. This is the story of a market on the edge of chaos, a battle between global hype and local grit. And the anxiety is real. So, what makes Tesla so different? Why the panic? To get it, you have to understand that this isn't just another foreign automaker. This is the company that rewrote the rules for the global auto industry. First, there's the tech. The Model Y arrives as a fully imported unit from its Shanghai Gigafactory. It's offering a WLTP-rated range that can push well over 500 kilometers on a single charge and can jump from 0 to 100 in under 6 seconds. But the real disruption is what's inside. The massive 15.4-inch touchscreen is the car's brain, controlling everything. Then you have the promise of full self-driving, a feature you can unlock for an extra 6 lakh rupees. It's constantly learning and improving with over-the-air updates, which makes the car feel less like a machine and more like a smartphone on wheels. Now, it's worth noting that full self-driving isn't actually legal for autonomous use on Indian roads yet. You're essentially paying for a future promise. Second, and maybe even more powerful, is the brand itself. Owning a Tesla isn't just about getting from A to B. It's a status symbol recognized from California to China, a shorthand for innovation and living in the future. In a market as aspirational as India, that brand power is an incredible weapon. It sets a new, almost impossibly high bar for what an electric car is supposed to be. Even industry leaders like Anand Mahindra have publicly said that Tesla's presence will force everyone to innovate faster and up their game. Finally, Tesla has a playbook for this. They've walked into crowded markets, stared down legacy giants, and carved out a dominant space for themselves again and again. They know how to build desire, create a cult-like following, and use their tech lead to charge premium prices. They aren't just dipping a toe in the water here. They are running a strategy they've perfected worldwide on a massive new battlefield. The initial launches in Mumbai, Delhi, and Gurugram are just the first step in a much larger campaign. But India isn't like any other market. For all its power, Tesla is facing a uniquely Indian set of hurdles. Hurdles that have protected local players for years. The most obvious one is the price wall. At that starting ex-showroom price of Rs 59.89 lakh, the Model Y costs more than double what it does in the US. This is mostly because of India's massive import duties on fully built cars, which can hit 70%. In a country where the average car sells for a tiny fraction of that, the Model Y isn't just a premium car, it's an ultra-luxury good for the absolute wealthiest slice of the population. It's not competing with the heart of India's EV market, but with Mercedes-Benz and BMW. Then there's the infrastructure problem. India is making huge strides, no doubt. As of May 2025, the country has over 29,000 public chargers, a massive jump from just a few years ago. But that's still a drop in the ocean compared to the 1.3 million chargers the government says we'll need by 2030. Reliability is a huge issue, with drivers often finding broken chargers, especially on highways. And most of these chargers are clustered in big cities. Tesla has promised to build out its own supercharger network before deliveries even start. But covering a country as huge and complex as India is a monumental challenge. Finally, you have the policy maze. The Indian government's message is crystal clear: Make in India. A new policy does offer a lower 15% import duty for some cars, but there's a catch. A company has to promise a minimum investment of over 4,000 crore rupees in local manufacturing. So far, Tesla hasn't committed to a factory, choosing to test the waters with retail first. This puts them in a tough spot. They either keep selling expensive imports to a tiny audience, or they make a massive bet on local production, a gamble they don't seem ready to take just yet. This whole battle is just getting started, and the strategies are changing by the month. If you're getting value out of this breakdown and want to stay ahead of the curve on India's EV revolution, just take a second to hit that subscribe button. We go deep like this every single week. While all the headlines are screaming about Tesla, it would be a huge mistake to underestimate the deep-rooted strength of India's own champions. They aren't just sitting back and panicking. They have a counter strategy built on decades of knowing this market inside and out. This is a David versus Goliath story, and David has some serious weapons. First is the home field advantage. Companies like Tata Motors and Mahindra understand the Indian consumer, Indian roads, and Indian wallets better than anyone. They have massive, established sales and service networks that reach into the smallest towns, places a brand like Tesla might not touch for years. That unmatched distribution is their fortress. And their main weapon is price. This is where the panic turns into a smart response. Look at the undisputed king of the Indian EV market, Tata Motors. Their lineup is a masterclass in making EVs affordable. The Tata Punch EV starts at just under Rs 10 lakh. Their blockbuster, the Tata Nexon EV, sits between Rs 12.49 lakh and Rs 17.19 lakh. Mahindra's powerful XUV 400 Pro plays in the exact same field, starting around Rs 15.49 lakh. Let's put that into perspective. For the price of one base model, Tesla Model Y, you could buy nearly 6 Tata Punch EVs. You could buy a base model Punch EV for almost the same price as Tesla's optional full self-driving package. This isn't just a price gap, it's a completely different philosophy. Indian brands aren't selling a far-off luxury dream. They're focused on mass adoption and making electric cars a reality for the Indian middle class. This strategy gets a huge boost from the Make in India ecosystem. Government programs like the recent Electric Mobility Promotion Scheme, EMPS 2024, provide subsidies that bring down the cost for buyers. These benefits are designed specifically to support locally made vehicles, giving domestic players a massive edge over imported cars. More importantly, Indian companies are building the whole ecosystem themselves. Tata Power is aggressively rolling out its own charging network with plans for tens of thousands of stations. They are creating an environment where owning one of their EVs is practical. They aren't just selling a car, they are selling a complete, affordable solution built for India. So, what happens now? Does Tesla's arrival mean the collapse of the local market? Almost certainly not. Instead, we're about to see the Indian EV market split right down the middle. In the short term, the market will likely split into two tiers. At the top, you'll have the premium luxury segment, a battlefield for Tesla, Mercedes, BMW, and Audi. Here, it's all about brand status, cutting-edge tech, and performance. Tesla's entry will set this segment on fire, pulling in wealthy buyers and tech fans. But the real volume, the heart of the Indian market, will stay firmly in the hands of the homegrown players. This is the sub-20 lakh segment where affordability, practicality, and easy service are what matter. Tata, Mahindra, and others like MG will fight it out here. They'll use their cost advantages in local factories to build cars that just make sense for millions of Indian families. The real winner in all of this, the Indian consumer. Tesla's presence is a catalyst for the whole industry. It's forcing local brands to innovate faster, improve quality, and rush the development of their own tech to stay in the game. That pressure is going to create better, more advanced, and more interesting electric cars for everyone. The ultimate wildcard, though, is local manufacturing. If Tesla ever decides to commit to building a factory in India, the entire game changes overnight. A locally produced Tesla, without those crippling import duties, could be priced to compete directly with the high-end models from Tata and Mahindra. That is the scenario that would send real shockwaves of panic through the boardrooms of every Indian automaker. That's when this skirmish in the luxury space would become an all-out war for the soul of the Indian auto industry. Tesla's arrival with the Model Y is a massive moment for India. It's a high-tech jolt that brings a new level of performance and aspiration to the market. But the story of an easy takeover just doesn't match the reality on the ground. Indian brands are not sitting ducks. They are dug in, they're smart, and they are fighting on their home turf with the powerful weapons of affordability and local production. The panic isn't about being wiped out tomorrow, it's about being forced to evolve faster than ever before. The battle for India's electric future won't be won by a single knockout punch from a foreign giant. It's going to be a long, tough fight, waged in showrooms, on highways, and in the minds of Indian buyers. But what do you think? Which Indian EV has the best shot at holding its own against Tesla? And what does Tesla need to do to truly win over the Indian market? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments.